Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Bernie Bass, and I'm honored to welcome you to the Volunteer Center of Lubbock's 24th Annual Cornucopia Luncheon. Normally, we find ourselves at the Civic Center, and that's fun. Today, we're going to have fun in a different sort of a way. We're still celebrating outstanding volunteerism and leadership in the Lubbock community, and I want to thank all of you for taking time to join us online. Before we present our awards, I'd like to thank our generous partners, including Atmos Energy, United Supermarkets, Lubbock National Bank, Studio West, Citibank, University Medical Center, Texas Department of Political Science, JF Charitable Endowment, Team Linda and Emily from Westmark Realtors, Lubbock Area United Way, the CH Foundation, the Helen Jones Foundation, and the Community Foundation of West Texas. Their partnership has made it possible for the Volunteer Center to offer all of the Gathering for Good programming as a gift for free to any person or organization wanting to participate. It's allowed hundreds of people to safely gather to learn, share, serve, and connect. To all of our honorees, please allow me to express congratulations and gratitude to you from all of us at the Volunteer Center. To everyone else, thank you for joining us here today and helping us recognize these outstanding Get Involved Award winners. Thank you. Let me take a quick moment for some housekeeping. The box you see to the right is a chat box. We love to hear from you in there. Introduce yourself, send a message of support to an honoree, or show your excitement. On this web page, you'll also find the program for today. Here you'll find more information about today's honorees and the people who made this event possible. Now, if you need technical support at any time during this program, please call 806-747-0551. That's 806-747-0551. We have folks standing by to help you. A recording of today's program will be available to watch on this very page after we conclude today. And now, it's my pleasure and honor to introduce to you my beautiful wife of 50 years, best friend, the executive director of the Volunteer Center of Lubbock, and I would say the heart and soul of the Volunteer Center of Lubbock. She joins me today in hosting Celebrating for Good. Welcome, Sharon Hyde Bass.
Thank you, Bernie. It's my privilege to be here with you all today. The Volunteer Center of Lubbock exists to inspire a more engaged community by helping people find their purpose and act on it. At our board retreat in February, we came up with a new metaphor. We're the do-good gatherers. But within a few weeks, we were in the midst of the pandemic. And we were asking ourselves, how do you gather people for good when the most caring thing is to stay apart? The past several months have been challenging as we have not been able to see you in person and bring people together as we normally had before. But we determined that during this time, we could continue offering comfort and compassion in new ways. During the fall, we began the Gathering for Good Moments series to bring us together, offer comfort, share compassion with one another. Throughout October, we had weekly conversations for good with thought leaders who inspired us to think, disrupt old ways of looking at things, ask for help, make space for curiosity, and connect with ourselves, our family, our friends, our community with care and intention. Many of you that have been participating in those conversations, you might have seen your name during the pre-show scrolling across the bottom of the screen. Today, while we miss gathering with you in person for our annual Cornucopia Luncheon, we're so excited to be joining you virtually. We are celebrating for good and sharing stories of inspiration. As we are in the midst of our national elections, I'm reminded of someone who said, volunteering is the ultimate exercise in democracy. You vote in elections once a year or every 4 years. But when you volunteer, you vote every day about the kind of community that you want to live in. In the 24-year history of this event, we have had the joy of honoring over 280 individuals, youth, families, groups, businesses, and organizations with the Get Involved Awards. Today, we are excited to present 15 more Get Involved Awards to some very deserving people who have been voting with their actions to create our community.
We are first recognizing some people representing outstanding businesses and organizations in our community. A thriving community is a collaborative one, and partnerships with these organizations are at the core of the Volunteer Center's impact. These businesses and organizations went above and beyond to benefit the South Plains. Let's meet them.
Yes, so my name's Tiffany. I created Face Masks for Lubbock when I seen that there was a need for more masks in our healthcare community. We started up a Facebook group. I did not know anybody since I'm new to Lubbock here, and prayed that God would send us some amazing leaders, and he did just that. Nikki is one of those leaders that has helped get the group started and keep us going, and we couldn't have done it without her.
Well, thank you, Tiffany. So I got started with Face Masks for Lubbock because I had started sewing masks at home, and a friend just recommended this group to me, and there was a great community of sharing of ideas, and then we found great leadership and even friendship. So this was a very interesting beginning of a group and project, one that I had never experienced quite in this, but it's led to some great places.
I volunteer because I think it's important for us to give back to others with our time and our talents and our skills. In doing so, I have been able to find more of a connection in the midst of the chaos that 2020 has been. I have built some long-lasting friendships and have met some of the most amazing people of the Lubbock community.
I definitely agree with everything Tiffany said there again. The friendships and connections through this project is some of the most meaningful things that has came out of this year in our time connecting together.
I am so honored to even be a part of this, to be able to turn around and bless people who are stressed and looking for a mask to protect themselves or their family. And we are able to provide that because of our tremendous group of volunteers and our donors who have made that possible.
And this group is truly a representation of what the Lubbock community is at its best. So that is something that I think this award elicits that response to me, is that we do live in a community where in our most trying and hardest times, we can come together and create such goodness and such good relationships and honor each other by the recognition of this award. And so this is an important thing, I think, for not only us as admins and as a group of people who came together, but as a recognition of the best of our community.
So we first kind of really got into ADPI probably both of our freshman years when we were both joined the sorority. And for me, that was personally one of the reasons why I joined the sorority, was I looked forward to helping our age. So we started doing lunches and stuff there, and then I decided to become community service chair in Waverly.
I decided to become philanthropy. Yeah, I got into ADPI really because one of my family members in Colorado spent time at the Ronald McDonald House when my cousin was in the hospital. And so it is very near and dear to my heart, and that's a huge reason why I became philanthropy director.
Okay, well, we have two sides of it. So mine is the hands-on volunteering. So we get to actually go to the house and have about say 10 girls, and we get to go make either lunch or dinner for the families, or for a holiday we worked with another philanthropy-based sorority, and we made them cards and brownies. Pre-COVID, yes.
Pre-COVID, yes. And mine is a little different. As philanthropy director, I do more of the fundraising side of it. So I do events and different fundraisers to raise money for the families. Well, we volunteer because it's a core part of who Alpha Delta Pi, or what Alpha Delta Pi is. We are based on giving back to others, and bettering ourselves and the people around us.
And I think it's a really great way for them to realize like how lucky we've been, and if we can help somebody else in need, it's really kind of just like a humbling experience and something that is really great to have been a part of. And so we would both like to say thank you, and it's a really great honor, and I'm very happy to have been community service chair and had the opportunity to work with them. And I would like to say thanks, Cindy, especially for nominating us and just like giving us this honor.
Absolutely. I couldn't be more proud of what RMH does and what 80 Pi has done. Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you.
So when we first started, the shoe drive was for kids, of course, that are in need of shoes, whether they are in the foster care program or, at-risk kids is who they reached out to. So that was one event. Then, of course, they have Halloween. We helped babysit for mothers that were taking GED classes. When the Hope Center opens, my organization, which is First Convenience Bank, and my wonderful staff, we started doing financial literacy classes to the moms. We did it in the communities that just needed help or needed those services. And I worked closely with Jasmine and Angelina at the Hope Center. And, anytime there was a need, it didn't really matter what it was. They had Texas Tech tailgating. I mean, it was fun events. Becky had for the kids that were in the foster care program I believe they were adopted out. Actually, the families, they came and we went swimming. So it was just different events. I think I volunteer because I love to serve people. I feel like, when there's a need and you can feel it, you feel it. And with this particular organization, like I said, they represent so much hope, and they do so much for people that are in need, that why wouldn't you want to volunteer for this organization? And luckily, I appreciate my company, First Convenience Bank, that allows my staff and myself the time to go out and get involved with the communities and just fill in that void where there's a need. And just to serve people, I think is what it's all about, is serving people, because it brings me joy when I can help people, and you grow as a person. Just to be there for somebody, knowing that one day that could be you and somebody just lending you a helping hand. Sorry. I'm excited. I'm appreciative of being nominated and being chosen, number one, because this is just something that we do. We don't necessarily look to be recognized for it because we enjoy doing it. My staff enjoys helping. So I was really excited. I was super excited, actually. And I'm just excited, really.
I go out to the schools, out to the community, and talk to, people about our program, try to get kids to come out here. I go to the courthouse as well, and, I talk to probation officers and tell them about our program, and that's pretty, and coordinate people to come out, volunteers, groups, schools, and just as far as the volunteering goes, that's kind of what I do. When they told me about this job, it was, you're going to be working outside and you're going to be working with teenagers. And I thought, well, I love both. And I still do. I like working with teenagers. They are always teaching me something. They're such bright young kids, always ready to see what's next. I love that excitement about the kids, and I love it when I can do or say just one little word that's gonna make them, have a better day. And same thing with them. They make my days. During the summer, we work hard, but that's my favorite time of the year, here at my job. And I love being outside. I love what, every day it's like, look at what God has, done for us. And so I love those two things. it's a great honor, but I felt like, to be honest, there's so many people that just come out and volunteer that I'm like, and we have people to come out once a week to give up that day of their busy week. We have people that come, every Saturday and help us out. And I'm like, oh my goodness, they should be doing this because we have amazing volunteers. We really do. And now I tell people, now I want to do I know what I want to do when I grow up.
StarCare Specialty Health System has been providing services for mental health, including crisis services, intellectual disabilities, veterans, aging, and substance use services for over 50 years. Here at StarCare, we know that it's important for us to volunteer with our community partners because many of the people we support receive services from those partners. Our CEO, Beth Lawson, has reminded us during COVID-19, we're working apart, yet always together. We have continued this motto into our volunteerism to brainstorm and find out ways that we can better support Lubbock, Texas, and the surrounding counties. You may see us volunteering as board members for the Guadalupe Parkway Somerville Centers and the Lubbock Chamber of Commerce. We're loaned executives for the United Way campaign. We wear red to support women for the American Cancer Society. We're helping to revitalize the National Alliance on Mental Illness Lubbock chapter. And we look forward to those weekends when we can get our kids, our grandkids, and our fur babies together and walk as a team to support walks such as the Out of the Darkness, Walk to End Alzheimer's, Better Understanding of Down Syndrome, and Relay for Life. We are honored to work alongside the Volunteer Center of Lubbock and our community partners as we create a better Lubbock. Thank you.
Wow, just wow. The individuals that make up each of your organizations, Face Masks for Lubbock, AD Pies, First Convenient Bank, Sandra representing the Grub Farm, and StarCare, are responding to local needs and being love for all our neighbors. Thank you. It feels good to celebrate the good happening in our city. Next, I'm excited for you to hear from some inspirational young people who are using their voices and resources to make a difference.
Macy is actually one of our fourth graders in our K through fifth grade ministry at our church, Live Oak Community Church. As a volunteer, we believe she really lives out an important verse from the Bible, 1 Timothy 4:12, and it says, "Don't let anyone look down on you because you are young, but instead set an example for the believers in speech, in conduct, in love, in faith, and in purity." Macy is an inspiration to all of us at Live Oak Community Church. You know, in our K through fifth grade ministry, we usually do a service project or we do a giving initiative each year in the fall. But Macy is someone that has shown us that you can actually develop a habit of helping people and serving people in the community, not just one time a year, but all throughout the year. We believe that she leads by example. She follows the example of Jesus when it comes to leading others and serving others. His leadership style was characterized by love and compassion and servanthood. And I can just picture this big smile on his face every time he sees Macy pouring out his love and his compassion to others so freely and generously. Our church nominated Macy for her service because we think she has an understanding that being the church is not just something that happens inside the walls of a building on Sunday mornings. She has shown with her life that being the church is actually going out into the community and putting into action what it really means to love and serve God and love and serve others. Oh, I think volunteering is vital to our community because it gives people hope. It shines a spotlight on the ways that God is still at work, that He is still working in and through people to accomplish good things for His glory.
What do I do as a volunteer? Well, what I do as a volunteer, I make sure that like my lemonade day stand is set up on lemonade day, you know. Hopefully we can get enough people out there to make enough money, you know. It's all about being a good host. It's all about having good talking community, good talking experiment, or if you're not a good talker, then you're out of there, you know. But you know, you have to have great talking experience. You gotta have a good lemonade day stand. You know, it's just, you just have to be out there as a volunteer. You know, anybody could do it, but I feel like I'm pretty good at it, you know. Why do I volunteer? I volunteer because it makes other people happy. It makes Make-A-Wish happy. It's just not going to Make-A-Wish, it's going to other kids, you know. There's other kids out there with, like, a person with simple asthma that has bad asthma, you know, can get affected by that. You know, they won't be able to run or do sports, and, you know, say they're in the basketball and they can't try for basketball because they have bad asthma. You know, not Disney, but like Make-A-Wish will like try to help them out and, you know, create them a thing to do, you know, so they won't feel like they have this disease. You know, me, I have sickle cell anemia and I'm stuck inside all day. I can't do physical stuff, but that doesn't mean I can't put my mind to a physical challenge. So that's me. I feel like that's what it is. To be honest, it's a surprise myself because my mom's keeping it hidden from me, but I'm actually grateful and thankful for this opportunity because, like I said, any opportunity or thing that comes your way can open a new door, and I feel like this is opening a new door, so I greatly appreciate it.
We just thought that it'd be good to give back to our community through a way that we were really gifted with in education, and we did this through private tutoring just locally in libraries at Go to K Library, and then we just kind of expanded as we got more students and expanded to different locations and got more students.
And then after Jeff and Hannah got a little bit got a slight structure down, I kind of hopped on and joined the train, and then we started tutoring at Go to Key Library, and as we grew from there, once COVID-19 hit, we started switching to online, and then we've been expanding ever since.
So I started volunteering because I really enjoy connecting with people and getting to know them better. And so when I first heard about Robin's Nest, I thought that this would be a great opportunity to not only help my community, but also to start connecting with others and being able to use what I've learned to also help others learn.
I think as a group, collectively, we all just tutor because we enjoy tutoring, and we get to know people that have similar passions about what our mission is and making a difference in our community.
It's pretty amazing, actually. When we started, I was kind of like, oh, this is just going to be something that I'm going to do every Saturday and just go home and never think about it again. And it's grown so much. It's become like a big factor in my life. Like, this is the organization that I am the co-president of, that I founded with my brother and his friend. It's become so big, and getting an award for it kind of marks it. We can be called an organization, we can get a name, we can get a website, but getting an award shows that what we're doing is important, and what we're doing is being seen by other people, and it actually kind of makes me feel like I'm an organization. I'm part of an organization, like an actual organization. I think that's good.
Yeah, I think this award is like a culmination. It's the fruit of our efforts for all the passion and dedication that's been put into this organization. And so it's honestly an honor to be recognized for this award.
Currently, the most involved we are right now is in the school garden. Olive and Eleanor go to Roscoe Wilson Elementary, and I am the volunteer garden coordinator this year. So everything that gets planted and weeded and harvested and all that is kind of done by us, at least planned by us. When we can, we still help out at Carpenter's Kitchen, serving meals and...
Right. We like to cook, and Carpenter's Kitchen used to get a lot of leftover, mostly fried chicken from restaurants in town, and always warmed it up. But that hasn't been available lately, and so when our class gets its turn to do it, it's kind of like a fun time to go in and look at their pantry and see what we can make 200 or 300 meals out of. And then Family Promise too, we would come and make dinner and just hang out and sometimes spend the night, but during COVID that's been shut down. We just send in gift cards, so.
When we first started having kids, I think I just really wanted them all to start learning that there's such a bigger world out there than their sheltered little lives that are perfect and easy. And I wanted them to see life isn't always perfect and easy, but how do you still have joy helping people and just being a friend to everyone, and especially people who don't look like you and talk like you, and we wanted them to be comfortable around all kinds of people and not just people who look exactly like them. So that's one reason. It's been a lot of just relationships that we were friends with the director at our church for Family Promise, and she needed help, so we came and. We made friends at Open Door, and so those things just make it easy when you know someone. I was resistant. I didn't think it was necessary, and I was confused as to why I had been nominated. Especially because this year we really haven't been able to do much at all of anything since about March, except for the garden. The garden hasn't slowed down at all, but. It's nice, it's touching, it's unexpected, and we really appreciate it.
That's a lot of love right there, folks. Macy, Trishawn, Robin's Nest, and the Palmer family, you amaze us. Proving once again that even our youngest community members are uniquely serving even through the challenges of this year. Let's keep going as we hear from our next group of wonderful volunteers as they reflect on their experiences.
So as a volunteer with Grace Campus, I am on the board. So I always thought volunteering was community service or picking up trash or spending time doing an activity, but I've also learned that a big part of volunteering is joining a board of directors, and getting to really get a feel for the organization that you're helping. And so sometimes I feel like I'm really not doing as much as like the people who have boots on the ground, but kind of guiding the direction, looking at financials, looking for opportunities, speaking opportunities for our directors. That's how I volunteer with Grace Campus as a board member. My parents made me volunteer from a young age. My first volunteer projects were through the 4-H in Farwell, where I grew up. Now as an adult, I feel that pull and I feel that desire in my heart to help others or maybe make life a little easier for someone else. So that's why I volunteer. I think it's something that was instilled in me and my brother and my sisters when we were really little. So I volunteer because I want to pass along that feeling and that pull to other folks, and also I want to bless the people that we're helping. I am really honored by this recognition and this award, but it's not all about me, it's about our group at Grace Campus, so they do an awesome job. Our whole board is amazing, and I'm just really excited that I get to serve in this capacity for a group that I never thought I would, really. It was not something on my radar at all. So I appreciate Sharon Bass reaching out to me and the board scooping me up and bringing me on and trusting my judgment. And so those are my thoughts on serving and volunteering and receiving this award. I'm really honored.
I started volunteering in about 2005 with Katrina, and really was just going out when all the folks were from Louisiana were coming in. They were at Reese Air Force Base. It just felt, kind of a call to go out there and help, and just wherever I could help. So as a volunteer, I've worked and do work in several areas. Obviously, I'm a board member with the Volunteer Center of Lubbock. I'm a board member with the United Way, Lubbock Area United Way, where I serve as the Community Impact Chair there. I also work with the Lubbock Partnership Network in partnership with Lubbock ISD, with several East Side schools that we manage and are on to really help get those schools where they need to get to. And so that work, I do a lot of work with the 100 Black Men of West Texas. And so several entities, I really asked God a long time ago, really kind of who does he call me? And really, he called me two things, really. It was what I kind of felt like he really spoke to me. One was, you're a worshiper. And the second was, you're a servant. And so I think we all have a responsibility to serve our fellow man. This recognition is amazing. I obviously didn't have any idea that I would be nominated for this. I've seen many great folks within the Cornucopia Luncheon being acknowledged for the work they do, and obviously, just like me, just like them, I didn't have any idea, or if you never got recognition for something like that, it would have been just fine. I mean, you're doing the work. Not necessarily for recognition, but because it's the right thing to do, because it's a calling that you might have on your life. And so I'm really grateful for the United Way and them acknowledging the work that I've been doing on the board for the last 6 years. It's a blessing. I appreciate it, and thank them for that nomination.
Well, I met Tammy years ago through Junior League of Lubbock. She was a member like I was, and of course, that's an organization that is all about volunteering. So that is where I met Tammy. Well, Tammy's been involved in the community doing many things. She's been on the Cattle Barons Ball Committee. She has been on the Susan G. Komen Committee. And more recently, she has been involved with a church group that goes to a school and educates 3rd through 5th graders on stories in the Bible and about Jesus. Well, I think in the spring, for example, the reason I nominated her is she had a huge impact on hundreds of seniors in high school across our community. As we all know, COVID had activities that seniors could participate in and do. And Tammy started a Facebook page that connected people of our community with a senior in high school, and they were there either just to show support or give them a small token of appreciation. But the thing I loved about that is it brought people from all over our community, all walks of life, to connect with somebody they never would have connected with. If you know Tammy, she's just a go-getter kind of girl. She goes and gets, and once she makes her mind up to do something, there's no stopping her. I love that drive about her, because there's only so much that organizations, not being volunteer organizations, but organizations and our government can do. And, if you look back in history, volunteers have filled in the gaps. And that is so important, because we can't all do this alone, and we need help through life, whether it's a meal that we need, or it's help with a situation that a volunteer organization can help us with, either it be short-term or long-term, but we can't do it alone. And I think it's important that we have volunteers, not only for the recipients to have a volunteer organization help them, but I think it's also important that as humans, we have an outlet to give to others, because any volunteer knows if you give to someone, you're going to feel great, and it's kind of a win-win. It's not only do you help the person that you give to, but it helps you too in a way that you never thought would happen.
I see the importance of volunteering and how it affects people, and it gives people hope. It gives people just a friend, a support person, and someone to come into their lives that touch them in a way that no one else has. My volunteer opportunities include St. Benedict's Chapel, and that is an organization that feeds the homeless, the food insecure, and the working poor. I've had a passion for the homeless for many, many years, and I said when I retired, that's one area that I really wanted to become involved. I also volunteer with Meals on Wheels. I love volunteering, and every week I go and visit with the same people, those people are very isolated, and they love having someone come in and just say hello, good morning, and bring them a meal that makes such a difference in their lives, because they are pretty much homebound, and sometimes their volunteer is the only person they see on a given day. I also volunteer for the community of West Texas. I serve as a board member. I'm on the grants committee, and I also help with the fundraising. And of course, that's very near and dear to my heart, because I know how the money that is raised goes back into the community in the South Plains area. So that's very important to me also. And another volunteer job that I do is through my church, and it is with Family Promise. And that I help prepare meals, and we take those, we volunteer there about every 3 months. Well, one of the reasons I volunteer, of course, is to make a difference, just to make a difference in someone's life, maybe just a smile, or maybe just a hello, or how are you today? I love being, I get so much more out of it, I think, than I can give. And I always say the greatest gift that you can give is your gift of time. And that's what I love to do. And I had the time, so I am very, very proud to accept this honor, and I appreciate the recognition, and I so appreciate St. Benedict's. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart.
The places I volunteer in Lubbock are at my church in the children's ministry area. I volunteer at Lubbock Impact. I volunteer with the Lubbock Cooper ISD schools. I'm part of the Pirates Moms program. And when Susan G. Coleman had an office in Lubbock, I volunteered there for the Race for the Cure. My main focus, and the reason why I was nominated for this award, is my service at Lubbock Impact. And I've been volunteering at Lubbock Impact since we moved to Lubbock in 2008. And the building's kind of set up in two different areas, and I volunteer in the area where the food and the clothes closet and just serving the people meals is what I'm doing now. One of the reasons why I volunteer is I feel like I have a gift of service, and I like to help people and share with them what's going on, and see where the resources are in Lubbock that can help them out. I mean, the older I get, the more I want to volunteer. It's not that once I turn 60 years old, I'm going to quit volunteering, but it's just a passion that I have. First of all, I was pleasantly surprised, and I'm very honored to receive this award. Rory Thomas at Lubbock Impact nominated me for this award, so I'm excited and honored that she nominated me.
I'm going to read this is from Rory, and so you will see what Rory thought of Mina and what we think of Mina. And so this is from Rory in her nomination. As the executive director of this nonprofit, I can honestly state that our organization could not exist at its current level without this extraordinary woman. She is a treasure. And her contribution takes us down the road by what she does and the impact that she makes. And so She's just a phenomenal volunteer, very worthy of this award.
Currently, I serve as a volunteer on Open Door. It's a ministry designed to serve those in our community who are homeless. And then I also am a trustee at Lubbock Christian University. I started school there when it was Lubbock Christian College. It was a 2-year program, and I finished 4 years there in the first 4-year class. And I'm privileged to serve as a trustee on the board of directors now. And then I also serve on the advisory board at First Bank and Trust. I volunteer because it's in my DNA. I can't imagine not volunteering. I think volunteering is either something you do because you can't not volunteer, or you volunteer because somebody pushes you to and you realize you can't not do it. That was kind of me. I had grown up in a family where we just did. I mean, my parents, like I told you, they volunteered. We never really called it that when I was growing up. We just did for other people, and we volunteered. And so I knew what it was, but we didn't make a big deal about it. We just helped other people. I just think that you either enjoy it and you have to do it, or somebody pushes you to do it, or you just find out it's who you are. It's just you. And for me, it's always been part of my life. Well, it's very humbling, I'll say that. But this is just hard for me. I've got to tell you, this is very difficult. I want to say the right things. I want to express my gratitude in a way that people understand that I am sincerely grateful for this recognition. But it's very, very difficult for me to receive an award. And I'm grateful that there are organizations like yours that do this. I just wish I was giving it to somebody else. But thank you so much. It is so humbling.
So inspiring. Thank you, Abby, Kevin, Tammy, Lynette, Mina, and Linda. Compassion and action from each of you, dear people. Today, we also want to remember our precious friend, Rory Thomas, who Mina and Jerry mentioned. We lost her too quickly, but she lives not only at Lubbock Impact, but within all of us who loved her. Such a mighty legacy. We mentioned earlier our business partners that have made this celebration possible. We are blessed with strong businesses that offer great products and service, but they also contribute significantly to so many of our nonprofits with funding and volunteering as they live out their core values. I'd love for you to hear from a few of them at this time.
Atmos Energy partners with Volunteer Center of Lubbock because volunteering is a fundamental element of Atmos Energy's culture. When we talk to our employees about what they miss most during our time of remote work, volunteer opportunities are usually at the very top of their list. And even during a global pandemic, our employees have found ways to give back virtually or in a very safe, socially distanced way. Here in the Lubbock area, the Volunteer Center has been a fantastic partner for many years and has been a significant help as we work to implement our new Fueling Safe and Thriving Communities initiative. Fueling Safe and Thriving Communities means we are committed to doing our part to enhance childhood literacy, reduce food insecurity, and support our hometown heroes. Atmos Energy believes that volunteering is important because compassion to give back to communities we serve flows through the heart and soul of Atmos Energy's 4,800 employees across all 8 states where we serve. Students working with local food banks or showing appreciation to our hometown heroes, our employees continually invest in the communities we call home. The Volunteer Center has been a part of this here in Lubbock for many years, and this year we are proud to begin a new initiative that captures what we've been doing for years, Fueling Safe and Thriving Communities. The Volunteer Center serves as a bridge, providing support, ideas, and connections to organizations and communities where we can make a difference. Atmos Energy supports Gathering for Good because now more than ever, it's important to continue to reach out, make a difference, and grow leaders, both in our own companies and in the community.
Citibank, we believe that it's important for our company, for our employees to give back to the Lubbock community and all across the South Plains because it's just part of who we are. It's part of our core values. We know that we could not be where we are as a bank without those in our own communities. So we know that it is incumbent upon us to give back. And so one way that we do that is allowing our employees the ability to go volunteer while they're on work time, because we know that what you guys are doing out in the community is vital to continue the great work that's going on with all of our nonprofits. You guys help so many nonprofits within the community. One thing that we are excited about is supporting Gathering for Good. We know that right now, especially in 2020, things have been just crazy, and that's an understatement. And so Gathering for Good allows us the ability to come together and get a little bit of inspiration in a year that has just gone sideways. And so being able to come together and have this venue for all of us to come together and focus on what's good in our community, what's good in right now specifically is definitely a bright spot in 2020. So we are so appreciative and so glad to be able to support Gathering for Good.
The Department of Political Science at Texas Tech University partners with the Volunteer Center of Lubbock mainly because of all the great work that this organization does in promoting leadership and volunteering throughout our city. It's something that our students need, and definitely VCL serves as a great example. I hope that our students will take with them as they enter professional careers. So the Department of Political Science believes that volunteering is so important because it connects you to your community and really helps it make it a better place. And volunteering really is a two-way street. It can benefit not only yourselves, but also the people that you're serving. So the Department of Political Science at Texas Tech University supports Gathering for Good because with our current pandemic and all the social unrest going on throughout our country, we believe it's important to be reminded of all the good that we as individuals can create to make our world a better place.
Hi, my name is Melissa Grimes, and I am principal and president of Studio West. We are an architectural interiors firm here in Lubbock, Texas. And we've had the privilege of being connected with the Volunteer Center of Lubbock for many years. And I feel genuinely like this is one of the deepest, most significant connections that we make in our community. It's at Studio West, it's important for our organization to have reach in the community because we learn from what we do, and we learn from those with whom we connect. I also think there's this really wonderful flow of information, ideas, resources that spins far outside of our own community, bringing us ideas, but often kind of spurred on by what we've learned and who we've connected with here in our own city. Studio West believes that volunteering is important because we are all in community together. We are all part of this population, and I do believe, and we do believe as a unit, Studio West believes that we can make a difference in our city by taking part and learning more and doing our best to experience what maybe our brothers and sisters are experiencing and we're not, so that we know more and we develop empathy and we sometimes have sympathy. And one of the best ways to do that is for us to get out there in the world and see things that we might be less connected with otherwise. And so those parts of connecting are really led so beautifully through the Volunteer Center. And we also learn a lot. We attend a lot of their functions and their training sessions, and we inevitably as a team go away and end up talking for hours, sometimes afterwards, and for days and weeks about what we've learned in sessions with this great organization.
We think it's so important to grow young leaders. I look at myself as an example. I started sacking groceries at a store here in Lubbock when I was in high school. Never dreamed I'd have a career in the grocery business, but I saw people that I admired. They took interest in me and helped me develop my career. And I think it's important that we all give that back to others. Well, they do a lot of incredible work in our community with outreach, helping a lot of our nonprofits, helping volunteers that are out there working in our community. And that's just part of who we are at United. We think it's very important if we're going to operate in a community that we give back. And we also want to help those that are helping others. So we just think it aligns well with our core values. Obviously we want to donate financially and help the community out, but a lot of times there's just a need of resources of people to help. And so we started a program, United We Care, several years ago, and our actual team members in our stores and all of our other campuses, you'll go out and support these events, take their Saturday off, take their evenings off. They don't get paid for it, they do it because they have a servant's heart and they have a passion and just want to get out and help others.
Thank you. Today and our Gathering for Good Moments would not have been possible without these friends as well as our other partners. We are so grateful. Please consider partnering with the Volunteer Center to empower more people to make a difference in our community. It's easy. Just click the Donate Now button on your screen and make a fast and secure online donation right now. What you have just witnessed is 24 years of dedication to the South Plains community. It's something remarkable. If you're ready to start making an impact yourself or wondering what you could do to help even in these challenging times, the Volunteer Center is here to help you. Give them a call, visit their website, or email them anytime. Let's hear from some of our honorees about why they volunteer and get involved in the community.
One of the reasons why I volunteer is I feel like I have a gift of service.
I really asked God a long time ago, really kind of who does he call me? One was, you're a worshiper. And the second was, you're a servant.
Well, one of the reasons I volunteer, of course, is to make a difference, just to make a difference in someone's life, maybe just a smile, or maybe just a hello, or how are you today?
I volunteer because it makes other people happy.
I just really wanted them all to start learning that there's such a bigger world out there than their sheltered little lives that are perfect and easy. And I wanted them to see life isn't always perfect and easy, but how do you still have joy helping people and just being a friend to everyone, and especially people who don't look like you and talk like you.
And so I think we all have a responsibility to serve our fellow man, to give of our bounty, to give of our gifts that we've been given.
I volunteer because it's in my DNA. I can't imagine not volunteering.
I get so much more out of it, I think, than I can give, because just to be able to be a part of these organizations that really do help people get back on track is so important to me. And
I started volunteering because I really enjoy connecting with people and getting to know them better. And so when I first heard about Robin's Nest, I thought that this would be a great opportunity to not only help my community, but also to start connecting with others.
I didn't really know that I enjoyed tutoring, but once we got students, we got on a roll. I was like, oh, this is really fun. And then it's kind of been that way ever since.
I like working with teenagers. They are always teaching me something. They're such bright young kids, you know, always ready to see what's next. I love that excitement about the kids.
And I see how important it is to these folks to have a support person, to have, you know, someone that comes into their lives that they may have never met. And I always feel like the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in others.
Because I think actions speak really loud, you know, sometimes louder than our words. And so I just want to make people feel cared for.
And if we can help somebody else in need, it's really kind of just like a humbling experience and something that is really great to have been a part of.
You know, we all go through tough spots, tough times. And I felt like, you know, I have a really good understanding of tough times and just the way I was brought up and those things. And I feel a responsibility to help people as best I can in whatever way I can.
Irma Bombeck once said that volunteers are the only human beings on the face of the earth who reflect this nation's compassion, unselfish caring, patience, and just plain loving one another. The faces you just saw, all the faces you've seen today, reflect compassion, caring, patience, and love. Thank you to each of these folks. You've shown us the way to be at our best, even in the bumpiest of times. Our thanks to new and old friends that are listed in the program who have helped us make this virtual celebration possible. Thank you so much. And thank you to each of you for joining us in celebrating the good our honorees have created. Thank you for all the ways you're caring and creating and connecting. During a year that has been so full of uncertainty, our choice to love ourselves and each other is always in our control. You can count on the Volunteer Center to keep gathering us together for good in all the seasons. You know we're made for this. Let us know how we can help. Cheers and big hugs from here to there. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.